Good morning, students. Today we will see river book back exercises. Have you seen, have you ever been to a river? Yes, you have been to a river. How will you describe the beauty of the river you have seen? Shallow and the water is clear. This natural stream of water uh, meandering, it looks really beautiful. Do you think rivers have life like human beings? Yes, we think rivers have life like human beings. You can take each and every line, explain it. Over the yellow pebbles are dancing through the flowers and foliage dancing. Now, first we will see the glossary. Foliage means a cluster of leaves, flowers and branches. Glancing, touching or hitting something lightly from the side without causing much damage. Swelling, becoming greater in intensely or volume. Rose banks, river banks where roses flowers appear along. Impetuous, acting between and without thought or care. Sending, going in a particular way. Headlong, with the head first and the rest of the body flowing. Has, in the past, the third person singular form of the word has, have. Eternity, life continuing without end after death. Over the yellow, pebbles dancing through the flowers and foliage. How does the river flow? How does the river flow? The river flows over the yellow pebbles, dancing through the flowers and leaves in the playful manner. What is meant by foliage? Foliage means it's a cluster of leaves, flowers and branches. Overlook. You can take it as what is meant by a pebble. Pebble means a small rounded stone. River, river, spelling river. On you, rush through rough and smooth. What does the poet mention river to be swelling? The poet mentions the river to be swelling because the river is like a reckless youth. What are the surfaces the river flows through? The surfaces river flows through are the rocks and smooth places like rose banks where the roses grow. Over rocks by rose banks peeping like impetuous youth. Where does the rose grow? The rose grow by rose bank. Which stage of man is compared here? The period of youth is compared here. Broad and deep and still as time, seeming still, yet still in motion. What is broad and deep? The river is broad and deep. Is the time still? No, the time is not still, yet it seems to be still. Which word describes the river? Which word describes the river? I am telling generally also broad, deep and still describes broad and deep. Tending onward to the ocean, just like mortal pride. Tending on to the ocean, just like mortal pride. Where is the river flowing to? The river is flowing to the ocean. What does the poet mean by mortal pride? Mortal pride, the poet means a man is the best stage of his life. is an adjective phrase expressing a quality or attribute regarded as a characteristic of the person or the thing mentioned. A filled river. A filled river, swelling river, brimming river, and a long river. Pick out the examples for the imagery of the poem. Yellow pebbles, dancing and rolling, underline each and every word, leaping, dashing into the sea. Next, um, how does the poet bring about the comparison of life with the river? This is given by PDF level by Mrs. Rosemary teacher. Based on your understanding of the poem, complete the summary of the poem by choosing the words of phrase given below. The poem, complete the words. First one, in the poem The River, the poet compares the flow of the river with different stages of human life. The first stanza explains how the sparkling river goes dancing over the yellow pebbles and glancing through the flowers and leaves. These acts of the river is compared to various and innocent child at a play. The second stanza compares the river to a reckless youth with, who goes through rough and smooth patches of life. Like a youth here, the river becomes louder and faster, sweeping everything all along the way. In the third stanza, the river becomes like a hard-working man who is at the prime phase of the life. Here, the deep and broad river seems motionless, but it keeps moving towards the sea like a matured man who silently marches towards the goal. The last stanza, the long uh, journey of the river reaches the endless sea like a human life eternity. Now, if Caroline Ann Bowles, she wrote various other works, describes a river in all its vitality and splendor. So, the river sparkles bright as you move along, as you have. As you move on, you go dancing over the yellow pebbles. Over the river ebbs and flows, rush through, but move. You are broad and deep and silent at times, though you seem motionless. You are inclining towards the ocean, just like a man in the best age of lifespan. River, you are so reckless, and you rush down into the sea. That sea depth has never been measured by a weighted line. None has gone by the ship completely around the sea to be compared to the eternity. Okay, thank you for listening and learn this by heart. This is the memory poem. Each and every one, every line, learn it and then figure out speech, rhyming words is different from rhyming scheme. At least from that you can get some mark. All the best.